Pemberantasan Korupsi kembali menggelar operasi tangkap tangan.
Kini giliran para pejabat di Kementerian Sosial yang ditangkap lantaran korupsi pengadaan bantuan sosial.
Setelah ditetapkan sebagai tersangka kasus dugaan tindak pidana korupsi terkait bansos COVID-19, Menteri Sosial Juliari Peter Batubara menyerahkan diri ke KPK. Dari operasi tangkap tangan ini, KPK menyita barang bukti uang senilai 14,5 miliar rupiah.
Akan bukti permulaan yang cukup, KPK telah menetapkan 5 orang sebagai tersangka. Sebagai penerima adalah CPP, yaitu Menteri Sosial, kemudian MCS dan AW selaku pejabat pembuat komitmen di Kementerian Sosial, dan selaku pemberi 2 orang swasta AIM dan HS.
Corruption is a latent problem that seems to be commonplace in this country. Various corruption cases were uncovered one by one. Corruptors do not only come from politicians. Some of them are businessmen, government officials, law enforcers, police, media activists, and even artists.
Recently, there has been a corruption case that shocked Indonesia during the COVID-19 pandemic, namely the corruption of social funds carried out by the Ministry of Social, amounting to 14 billion Indonesian rupiah. This is an irony and a very embarrassing thing for the Indonesia government. Social funds that should have been properly allocated to help public during a pandemic has been turned into personal money. Mahfud MD, as Coordinator Minister of Politics, Law and Human Rights, said central and regional officials who commit corruption to the social funds will be sentenced to the death. But are corruptors allowed to be sentenced to the death? At any rate, there are some reasons corruptors allowed to be sentenced to the death.
Firstly, according to the Article 2, Paragraph 2 of the Corruption Law, corruptors can be sentenced to the death if the criminal act is committed in certain conditions such as natural or national disaster. As we know, the COVID-19 pandemic has been declared as national disaster on 13 April 2020.
This decision has been stipulated in Presidential Decree number 12 of 2020 concerning the determination of non-natural disasters for the spread of the coronavirus disease 2019 as a national disaster. This is a strong reason why state officials who commit corruption during the pandemic should be sentenced to the death.
Secondly, the death penalty is very contrary to human rights and Pancasila, but commit corruption during pandemic is the most evil criminal. When many people are suffering because of losing their jobs, many people suffer and die from exposure to COVID-19, and many doctors and health workers died while struggling to treat COVID-19 patients due to exposure to the coronavirus. The corruptors easily take social funds that should be able to ease the burden on public during the pandemic and are instead used for personal needs. They deserve the death penalty for the crimes they have committed.
Based on the reasons above, the corruptors who commit criminal of corruption during the pandemic deserve the death penalty, and it is the time for the government to enforce the law as fairly as in Indonesia.